Hi, this is Jodi. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to show you another card with this single stamp Love is Kindness out of the Stampin' Up! Occasions catalog. Now hopefully you've already seen my video where I showed you this card. You can see it's just the image stamped right on there. It's actually on vellum cardstock and colored in with markers. If you haven't seen how to do that, make sure you watch my video. Today I'm going to show you how to use this image, but just use the flower part on top to create this card. So let's go ahead and get started. I started this card with a crumb cake note card and envelope. This is a 3.5 by 5 card with a nice coordinating envelope. You can get 20 of those in a package for only $5.95. So it's a great price and they are ready to go. This piece of Whisper White is 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, and I'm going to ink up the image, and I'm only going to worry about getting the top part here inked up because that's all I'll be stamping. So I'm going to start just in a corner and stamp the image there, ink it up again, go to the middle a little bit, some more, and just kind of rotate just to create a border of flowers around the edge of this cardstock. Maybe one more right down here. Okay, so I'll get my ink set aside. And then what I did with this to color, like I said on that previous one, I used markers. On this, I'm going to take my Rich Raspberry ink pad, squeeze it a little bit so that I make a mess of ink. I'm going to squeeze it a little bit more. A mess of ink on the lid here. I'm going to use that as a palette with a blender pen. Stampin' Up! Has blender pens like this. They come 3 in a package. They're each dual tipped, and it looks relatively clear until you use it. When you get the ink on here, it will stain the end a little bit, but you can use the same blender pen with multiple different colors. So what I'll do is just go ahead and get started. I'm just going to add color, the Rich Raspberry, into each of these petals. And it's almost like having a marker, but you can do a little bit more with the blender pen and the ink because you can vary the color a little bit. So depending on how much ink you pick up, you can get some different shades of that raspberry. So you just go around. I kind of color in little circles sometimes. The one thing you don't want to do on the Whisper White, we do have watercolor paper, which works awesome with blender pens or our other tool called an aqua painter. When you're using a smooth cardstock like the Whisper White or very vanilla, you want to make sure that you don't go over it too much. If I continuously went over the same area, just adding more and more ink, the paper would actually, I'm not sure how to describe it. It kind of breaks apart a little bit, the fibers of the paper, and so you would get these little like bumps of cardstock. I don't feel like I'm explaining that very well, but I think you know what I mean because you've probably, like me, done it before, where you just go over an area too much and then the paper just breaks and is kind of rough and peels off of the cardstock. So I would just continue to go around the whole area creating this border. Now when I want to switch colors, I just swipe this. You can see it comes out clean. Then I'm good to go on my next color. The tip, like I said, does look a little bit discolored, but it's perfectly fine. So then my next color is Old Olive, and I'm just going to do the same thing, pick up some color here to color in the stems and the leaves. And even though there's a lot of spots on here, you can see it goes relatively quickly considering the amount of space you're coloring. So after I get all of that done, I again would just go around the whole area here, coloring in. This you can kind of go really fast. I got a lot of stems in that area, leaves. So once you get all of your spots colored in, what I think really sets this card apart, and I'm not sure if you noticed it before I point it out now, this piece here, if you set it on there, you can see it has a different look than this one. And what I did to soften this up a little bit is took my Crumb Cake ink pad, so let me get my cover on that, and a sponge dauber. And I just dab it on here, and then I gently go around the edges. And you can see already, it just softens it up a little bit. So I would just continue around all of the edges, adding ink. And then you can see here around the happy birthday wishes, I also sponged some ink around there. So, like I said, really fun to play with this stamp set, a lot of different looks. I have a couple more videos planned, so make sure you check out all of the videos on my channel for the Love is Kindness stamp set. Thanks for joining me. For daily creative inspiration or to place an order, visit my blog. You can also find me on Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram.